Hello there, good evening. Welcome to Look North, our top story tonight. The jury in the case of a Good Samaritan knocked down and killed in Sheffield retires to consider its verdict. We'll have the latest from court. Also tonight, teachers at Olympian Academy go out on strike for a sixth day over changes to contracts.
All of these people want to work. They don't want to be on a picket line. They want to be teaching the kids. They want to be assisting the kids, and they can't do that with these new terms that are coming through.
Have no fear about the state of cricket in Yorkshire. Here, the city of Bradford alone has produced two Lords-bound finalists this coming weekend. The boys team as well as the girls team. We're going to hear from both of them tonight.
And a cut above the rest. Meet the 11-year-old having his locks lopped for the very first time here on Look North for a good cause.
And how nice it's been to see the sunshine. This was Grassington in Wharfdale this morning, and it looks as though we've got a couple more days of summery weather. Join me for that detailed forecast.
Hello, it's good to have your company on this Wednesday evening. The jury has retired to consider its verdicts of a man accused of killing a father of two who went to help an injured woman lying in the road in South Yorkshire. Sheffield Crown Court has heard how Chris Marriott got caught up in a wedding feud between two families in the Burngreave area of the city. Hassan Janga denies murder or manslaughter. Here's Mark Ansell.
Chris Marriott has been described as a good Samaritan. He was killed instantly on the 27th of December last year when he was driven into while trying to help a stranger who was lying in the road. Earlier in the trial, Sheffield Crown Court heard that Chris and his wife and two children were on a walk in Burngreave when Chris and another person, Alison Norris, who was also out for a walk, helped a woman who was lying in the road. The injured woman was Nafisa Jangur, a sister of the man accused of killing Chris Marriott. As they tried to help, the prosecution said a car driven by Hassan Jangur came round the corner at some speed and hit another man standing nearby and then ploughed into other bystanders, including Alison Norris and Chris Marriott. Hassan Jangur is then accused of getting out of the car and stabbing a man called Hassan Khan several times, puncturing his lung in the process. Following this, his father, Mohammed Jangur, is accused of taking the knife from his son and hiding it in the boot of his car. He denies a charge of perverting the course of justice. The prosecution said there was a dispute between two families following a wedding that morning of Hassan Khan and Amani Jangur, who is a sister of the man accused of killing Chris Marriott. The prosecution say that Armani's family seemingly disapproved of the marriage, causing a violent dispute to break out outside the Khan's family home later that day. In his defence case, Hassan Jangur told his trial he lost control of the car as he took the corner into the Khan street too fast and had no idea anyone was under the car. He earlier told court he had no intention of harming anyone and simply wanted to protect his family. Hassan Jangur denies murder or manslaughter and charges of attempted murder and wounding with intent, as well as charges of grievous bodily harm. He admitted causing death by dangerous driving. The trial continues. Mark Ansell, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Teachers and staff at Olympian Academy in Leeds have been on strike today over changes to staff contracts. The school was taken over by the Kirklees Academy Trust in April. They want to introduce new terms and conditions which differ from most academies and local authority-run schools. The National Educational Union says this will add to the problem of recruiting and retaining teachers. The Trust says they have offered credible solutions. Beth Parsons reports.
All of these people want to work. They don't want to be on a picket line. They want to be teaching the kids.
Olympian Academy is rated outstanding by Ofsted, and staff here are very proud of that. But how they feel about the arrival of their new terms and conditions is far from outstanding.
What do we want? Sick pay!
In April this year, the Kirklees Academy Trust, who also run another 8 schools in the Bradford region, took over the school. Members of the National Education Union are unhappy with the new contracts, including changes to maternity pay and sick pay.
If you're a teacher after 4 years and if you're support staff after 5 years, you have about 6 months full pay entitlement and 6 months half pay entitlement should you need it. If staff were to move to Carlton contracts, the only entitlement is 15 days in a 12-month rolling period. There is no maternity policy, and as far as we're aware, there is no probation policy for new staff either.
Personally, I've just had 3 months on long-term sick, which I'm still recovering from. I've got colleagues that I work with at this school who are also on long-term sick, be that from cancer or other illnesses. If they're getting a phone call after 15 days saying they've got to come back into work, it's not right.
It would also put a lot of pressure on people to be back in work when they are poorly. Maternity rights, obviously, people want to start a family. There are a lot of young teachers. If it's not set out clearly in policy for the entitlement, it's not going to help them in the long run, and it could be changed.
In a statement, the Carlton Academy Trust say they are saddened that the Leeds NEU has chosen to take industrial action, which only serves to interrupt the education of students and inconvenience parents. They say the Trust has offered credible solutions, including a full legal guarantee to ensure continuation of national terms and conditions throughout their employment at the school. We did also ask for further clarifications on the maternity policy, but have not yet received that information. Teachers and staff here say they're striking for not only themselves, but for the future of education.
Instead of raising things up, which is what everybody should be aspiring to, they're looking at lowering them, and that's going to be detrimental to recruitment in the future.
If people start feeling like they can get better options elsewhere outside of education or in private education, we're going to be losing them from our publicly funded system. It means there's going to be fewer people trying to give the best for our future generations coming up.
Teachers and staff here have described the mood on the picket line as very passionate. Regardless, they've apologised to parents and students for any inconvenience caused. Beth Parsons, BBC Lent North, Alton.
Next tonight, the really distressing story of a mum from Barnsley who killed her 5-month-old baby while suffering from postnatal depression and postpartum psychosis. She's been handed an indefinite hospital order. 39-year-old Hayley McFarlane smothered her daughter Evelyn while on a walk in Woodhousemore Park in Leeds last December. She'd been an inpatient at a mental health unit at the time and said she'd been overcome by feelings of failing as a mother. Victoria Scher reports.
The court heard how following Evelyn's birth, McFarlane sought help from mental health services on several occasions, which led to a voluntary admission to Fieldhead Hospital in Wakefield. The prosecution described how McFarlane thought she was negatively affecting her daughter's development and felt that she had ruined everything. At the time, doctors didn't realize that McFarlane was suffering from postnatal depression and postpartum psychosis. It wasn't until she was transferred to the Mount, which is a specialist mother and baby unit in Leeds, that she was prescribed antipsychotic medication and began to improve. However, on the 20th of December, McFarlane took her daughter on an unsupervised walk to Woodhousemore Park in Leeds and smothered her with a cloth. The court heard while McFarlane has no recollection of the events, she never denied being responsible for baby Evelyn's death. She was initially charged with murder, but the prosecution accepted a guilty plea to infanticide at a hearing here in Sheffield in June. The court previously heard how baby Evelyn had been much longed for and very loved by her parents, and McFarlane was described as a gentle and caring person by her loved ones. During today's hearing here at Sheffield Crown Court, the judge, Mrs. Justice Christina Lambert, told McFarlane that she was satisfied that if it had not been for her mental disorder, she would not have killed her daughter. McFarlane was ordered to stay in hospital indefinitely. In a statement, the Leeds and York Partnership NHS Foundation Trust, which runs the Mount, said an internal review had taken place. The Trust's chief executive, Dr. Sarah Munro, told the BBC, "Baby Evelyn's death was a rare and tragic incident, and our thoughts are with her family at this difficult time. We have cooperated fully with the police investigations and carried out our own internal review." She goes on to say the findings of this review would be shared with McFarlane's family and further reviews would be taking place, which the Trust would also fully cooperate with. Victoria Scher, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Let's have a look at some news in brief now. A man has been taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries after an incident in Sheffield city centre this afternoon. Emergency services were called to Division Street just before 2 o'clock following reports of shoplifting and concern for safety. A 34-year-old man was later taken to hospital to be treated for his injuries. South Yorkshire Police say inquiries are ongoing. The leader of Kirklees Council, Cathy Scott, has lost a vote of no confidence. It was put forward by members of Cathy Scott's former group, the Labour Party, after she was removed as group leader by her party but refused to step aside as council leader. The council meeting has adjourned and will resume shortly to decide who will become the leader. Now, a charity worker from Sheffield is marking his 500th day in Ukraine. Michael Baytone from Ecclesall said he felt a calling to go and help people affected by the war in Ukraine. Mr. Baytone has been living in the northeastern city of Kharkiv, taking aid to remote villages near the front line of the conflict with Russia. He's been sharing his experience with Hannah Gray.
Since I've been here, I've heard over 500 explosions, and I've actually seen 10 with my own eyes, and it's scary. I've had one 200 metres away, and I've had at least 30 less than 500 metres away.
Risking his life to help people in Ukraine, this is Michael Baytone from Sheffield. He's now living and working just 25 miles from the Russian border in Kharkiv.
We've had no drinkable water for over 2 years. It's a tough life here in Kharkiv, but people have to get on as normal as possible, and because they don't really have any options.
When he first arrived, Michael volunteered helping war crime investigators clear damaged apartments in Kyiv. He was awarded 2 medals in the country for serving Ukraine. Now Michael's working with the Tabota charity, which provides aid to people cut off by war.
Most of our work here goes to remote villages down dirt tracks that were in occupied territories for 5 or 6 months, or these villages that are near the front lines that have just been overlooked and forgotten. And we try and take funds for families with babies and children. We'll try and help everybody, but primarily it's for mothers and babies.
With fighting raging in Ukraine for more than 2 years since Russia's invasion, Michael is concerned that people in Britain have become complacent.
Humanitarian aid fundraising has just gone down and down and down. In fact, it's got so bad in the past few weeks, we've actually had to cancel deliveries.
Now that he's been working in the country for 500 days, he's launching a campaign to try and remind people of the devastation and suffering that continues.
It's simple philosophy. Whoever stays strongest for the longest will win the war, and we have to make sure it's Ukraine. And that means keeping its people fit and healthy and giving them what we can, as much as we can, to help them.
His goal now is to raise £50,000 to ensure they can keep providing basic essentials for families in need. Hannah Gray, BBC Look North.
And what a good job he's doing. Let's move on to sport now. It may have been heartbreak for England's men's football team at the weekend, but a draw last night in Sweden means the Lionesses have qualified for Euro 2025 and can defend their crown. Fresh from that important match, Sheffield's Millie was back in her home city today, being recognised by the University of Sheffield. Tom Ingle caught up with her.
Fresh off the plane from Euros qualification and now straight into an honorary doctorate ceremony at the University of Sheffield. Thanks for squeezing in a Look North interview as well. First of all, be careful because the university are our hosts. Which is better, Euros qualification or an honorary doctorate?
Oh, I think they're both up there. Like you said, it's been a whirlwind of a 24 hours just off the back of a qualification for a tournament that we want to defend. So, yeah, extremely proud of the group first and foremost. And then to be here today with my family receiving this honorary degree is, yeah, spectacular and moments that you probably don't expect in the footballing world. The community of the women's game and the way we carry ourselves and what we set out to achieve is bigger than just us. With us as females, we don't say, you need to go and play football. It's no, actually just have the courage and the bravery to go and say, I want to be a footballer, I want to be a firewoman or whatever it might be. It's all about just taking that first step into, yeah, your dream essentially. Obviously I came from a background of Sheffield United Academy and I'm always keeping kind of eyes on what they're doing and proud of where I come from and I'm proud of what I represent and what the city represents, and yeah, I think there's always room for improvement. So yeah, let's just keep pushing.
Room for improvement. You are the defending champions. Do you feel the pressure?
there's always pressure. That's football. That's the world we live in. That's the career. That's, you know, part and parcel of the job. And I think without pressure, you don't have, you know, you don't have the ability to maybe push into those uncomfortable areas. So I think pressure's good, especially being an athlete and a, you know, performer on the pitch. You need that pressure to go to the next level.
And you're clearly so committed to the game. Does management beckon after you hang up your boots for the last time?
Absolutely not. That is
Really?
that is not going to be something that I will step into. I always think things like that you've got to be super passionate about, and I think my passions are elsewhere, and I'll probably be the one creating the events and checking on the facilities, and yeah, I'd love to be a part of making sure everything's in order for success to follow.
Well, congratulations again on today's ceremony, and congratulations on qualifying for the Euros. We shall be right behind you just a year from now, isn't it?
Yeah, not long. Thank you.
Not long at all.
Come on, Lionesses. Table tennis now. A player from Halifax has earned a last gasp place to represent Team GB at the Paralympics in Paris this summer. Megan Shackleton will compete in the women's singles and mixed doubles after earning what is effectively a wildcard spot after she finished third in the qualifying competition. The 25-year-old who won bronze in 2021 in the women's doubles says she is over the moon. And staying with Olympics and climbing, which made its debut at the Olympics as an Olympic sport at the last Games in Tokyo. 23-year-old Hamish MacArthur from York is taking part this time. He's aiming for a medal and reckons he could achieve some pretty crazy things. We caught up with him at training in Leeds.
There's this quote that I said at age 3 to my parents, which is everything in my life is boring except climbing. And yeah, and that was before I'd been to a climbing gym or anything. That was just, I don't know, something I just love it. There's a part of me that just feels a need to explore upwards. Rocks, trees, houses, you know, just whatever was around, I would be scrambling up. You really enter your own world when you're climbing, which I love. Like, you kind of disappear from the rest of the planet and the rest of what's going on, especially when you're climbing like rope stuff and you're way high up and there's just no one around you. You're just in this like unique space, which is really beautiful. I think I always wanted to compete at an Olympics, even before it was, like, without really thinking about the practicality of it not yet being an Olympic sport. I was like, yeah, one day I'm gonna for sure. So yeah, when they finally did accept it as an Olympic sport, it became very much the obvious path for me. The thing is with the Olympics, it's going to be different from what a lot of people have experienced before, and that allows for fluctuations in performance and people to underperform or overperform. I can have some really good performances, especially under pressure and in these big moments. So yeah, I'm holding out. I'm being hopeful. I think I could do some pretty crazy stuff. A lot of my family is coming out to watch me, and some of my friends as well, so that for me is really inspiring, I think, or inspires me to want to perform my best and to do it for the right reasons, is to know that a lot of people are behind me and supporting me and willing me on.
Amazing how quick he can scramble to the top of that wall, isn't it? Right, let's switch sports now to cricket. And for many cricket fans, visiting Lords is a dream come true, isn't it? So imagine getting the chance to actually play there. Wow. Well, two young teams in Bradford are both getting ready for the biggest matches of their lives this weekend. Paul Ogden is at Park Avenue Club in Bradford for us. Tell us more. I bet they're so excited they're not sleeping.
They are, but this is not just a bit of fun, Amy. This is a very serious cricket operation. As usual, your timing is impeccable, because that's actually a team huddle going on amongst the boys' team. And just to explain what this is really, it's not really a club environment. This is the MCC Foundation Hub. It's how the charity arm of the National Cricket Board comes out to the regions and sources talents. But it's about free cricket coaching for state school students from 11 to 16. One of the coaches, and a very successful one he is coach of the girls team here at Bradford, Mohammed Salim. Whatever you're doing here, Mohammed, Salim is very, very, very successful. The question is, How should we understand it? Is it club cricketers? Is it future Yorkshire talent? Or is it about sourcing future England players by the MCC?
I think personally, I think the future Yorkshire cricketers. There's already a few that have gone through the system and are playing for the Yorkshire Under-18s, Yorkshire Academy, and hopefully in the future they could end up playing for England. That's a strong possibility. Because of the MCC Foundation Hub, it's brilliant to have them, and 10 weeks of free coaching is brilliant.
Absolutely, and it drives a cart and horses through the theory that cricket is elitist or is only for rich kids, frankly.
No, I don't think that's true. I think state school girls and this environment where we are in Bradford, it gives the opportunity to everybody, including girls and boys, to come and enjoy us in the MCC Hub.
And having got the girls team to the final and having got the boys team to the final under a different coaching team, they're obviously doing the right thing. Opening bowler for the girls team is Emma. Congratulations on all you've achieved so far. How are you going to feel opening the bowling at Lords in the final, Emma?
Really excited to have the opportunity, but also nervous so I don't let the team down and we can win.
Yeah, and how do you think the team is going to cope in that environment? I mean, it's quite pressurised, isn't it?
Hopefully quite well, because we've had the opportunity to come to Lords 3 times now, and all 3 times we've lost at the semi-final. So I think we've all just deserved it and earned it, and I think we're all going to do our best when we get there.
Briefly, Emma, how serious are you about your cricket ambitions long term?
I'm quite serious about it. I've been playing for about 10 years now, and I want to try play for the rest of my life, and just, yeah.
Absolutely fascinating. Keep doing what you're doing. Because Yorkshire is right behind you, I can promise you that. The same goes for you, Steve, captain of the boys team. How are you going to feel about leading the team out at Lords and that responsibility of captaincy?
I'm going to feel quite proud to be able to be with my mates playing cricket at Lords, which is something which everyone wants to do when they're older. All the cricketers around the world want to play at Lords, and we've got that opportunity.
Camaraderie has got you as far as you have. The boys team was beaten in the final last year, Steve. Better chance this year or not, briefly?
A lot of a better chance. I think our team can't be improved in any way. And I think if we play to our best, nothing can beat us, isn't there?
Good luck to you with your captaincy and your batting and bowling, and to you, Jacob, and the rest of the team. And we will try our very best to keep you posted on their efforts against Wembley, one of their opponents, and Guildford from down south as well, when the weekend is over. Back to you, Emma.
Wow, what an amazing opportunity. We're really excited for you. Give it your best shot. Thanks, Oggy. Now, how often do you get your hair cut? Mine's due a little trim. Is it maybe every few weeks, months, maybe even years? Well, one 11-year-old boy from Scarborough has never had a haircut in his life. But today, that is all changing, and Olivia Richwald reports it's all for a very good cause.
Here we are in Scarborough with 11-year-old Aaron, who's about to have more than a metre's worth of hair cut off. He's donating his hair to the Little Princess Trust so that someone can have a beautiful wig. Someone undergoing hair loss. Aaron, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling quite nervous about it. I mean, it is the first time I've ever had my hair cut. But, you know, I'm also quite excited for it. It's a new chapter in my life. I'm starting secondary school, cutting my hair. So, yeah, I'm quite excited for it.
Well, good luck. Let's go over here and have a very quick word with Aaron's nervous family. Tell me who else he's raising money for.
So he's splitting the money 50-50 between the Little Princess Trust and Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
You must be really proud of your brother.
Yeah, definitely.
And how do you think he's going to look with short hair, Mum?
Oh, he's going to look beautiful because he's always beautiful.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm really excited to see what he does look like. Let's go.
It's weird to see him with hair so short. I'm not used to it, but it looks really good.
He just said, I don't recognise this boy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either.
Well, we're ready for the big reveal, and on this occasion it's not just Aaron's family who are getting a surprise, it's Aaron himself. Here's your glasses. So do you recognise the boy in the mirror? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it looks good. Looks different. Very, very different.
And Aaron, you must be so proud that someone's now going to have your beautiful hair as a wig.
Yeah, I am. I'm very happy, and I get the feeling someone out there is going to be very happy.
Right, let's reveal you to your family. There you go.
The family have raised £2,000 to donate to the charities and to create the wig. Certainly something to smile about. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, Scarborough.
Aaron, you look ready for high school, young man. Looks fantastic with that new haircut. It's the end of an era. My little girl's going to high school as well.
Oh, really?
I'm so emotional about it.
Yeah, well, they're getting older, aren't they? My eldest is 20 next, so that's, you know, time flies, doesn't it?
It does. And the weather's looking better.
Yes, and...
On a positive note.
Look at that. I mean, look at that. That's Scarborough. I don't think people were listening to my forecast because there's only about 5 people on the beach. But never mind. It was really lovely in Scarborough. And the other picture is, well, a fantastic part of the world. One of my favourites up there in Upper Wharfdale, Kettlewell, looking like a picture. So we've got a couple more days to come of sunshine and high temperatures, especially on Friday, when peaks could be around about 26 or 27 degrees. So the headline for tomorrow is generally dry. I mean, there is a risk of the odd shower coming through, especially across the Pennines, but most of us will be fine with sunshine and warm as well. High pressure in charge, dragging up some really warm air on Friday. Barbecue Friday evening, how about that? Not going to last, of course, after a fine start to Saturday. This feature will bring some quite heavy and thundery rain up from the southwest later in the day. There's the satellite picture. We did get that fair weather cloud building up, but as is normal in this sort of setup, as the sun weakens, that cloud is now melting away. So we should have a fine and warm evening with some sunshine. And then overnight, just a hint of thicker cloud, especially in the west, bringing the odd light shower, but most of us will be dry, and we'll see overnight lowest temperatures coming in at around about 12 or 13 degrees. So tomorrow's high water times, Scarborough 227, Bridlington at 241. So tomorrow, variable cloud, especially in the morning. You can see a hint of just the odd shower drifting up from the southwest, but most of us will be fine. Variable cloud, sunshine lifting temperatures once more, with highs coming in across South Yorkshire and Derbyshire up to 24 degrees, 75 Fahrenheit, elsewhere 22 or 23. If you're at work tomorrow, the evening will be fine once you get home, with further sunny spells. Confirmation on Friday, a very warm day, 26 degrees the high, but that breakdown quickly coming later on Saturday. That's the forecast.
Doesn't look like barbecue weather on Saturday.
In the morning, a breakfast barbecue.
Yeah, but I like it. I like a bacon sandwich on a barbecue. How lovely. That's it from us tonight.